Excuse me. Oh, hello. I'm sorry about that. So anyway, I feel compelled to share an idea I had. I keep telling you these people are nuts, and they war against verbatim, and for some reason they're in charge of like coaching the AI or something, or like themselves just cheating it so that and the AI wouldn't. I mean, you think about it, right? With all these like lyric videos on YouTube, and not one of them's verbatim. I mean, don't believe your lying eyes or your lying ears when clearly they didn't say that. But like, why should that one have all the like counts when, of course, that one's warring against verbatim? You're awarding it for being incorrect, but allowing it to use at least post a song that's copyright material for someone, not them. It's fan art or a lyric video. But yet I can't verbatim post like a clip and try and just post it from the Rudo or something and say like, I don't know, copyright TV Tokyo. I'm not trying to make any money off this. All proceeds should go to them. But like, I should be legally allowed to post, a scene from a cartoon when YouTube is full of such things by people who don't own the copyright and aren't trying to make money, and neither am I. And if it did make money, like, give it to TV Tokyo, right? I mean, I don't know. Like, if there's all kinds of things to shake out there, but because of greed, somehow, like, as long as you cheat verbatim, you, like, get to keep it or something, okay, so here's what we're going to do, because these people are nuts. This would be my idea. Bigger picture. It's a freebie for anyone who can control this or might listen. I think you'd be blessed if you do it, because you're in a position, there's nowhere you can be that isn't where you're meant to be. They war against the truth. You see they hate the Bible verbatim. Especially the New King James Version. They hate it. They won't even capitalize the word Lord. They just won't do it. They know it differentiates between the Father and the Son, and they hate that. They just hate that. But Jesus is the same. As well, you can read. Of course he's not. He's more righteous, and you know it. Because God tells us this. He's different. Anyway, so here's my idea, right? Because they war against verbatim, sure, do this with the Bible. Any translation you want, stupid, let alone like ours. As some people in English choose the New King James or whatever, or even the Old King James. Here's how to make sure they don't war against verbatim. You can test this logic again and again and just understand these people are evil and believe in something that is evil if they have a problem with what I state. And here's what I really think we have to do. It has to make a comeback. And so whoever's in charge of this, for verbatim's sake, really, I think you might be blessed if you listen to this idea, because some people might be in a position to, figure it out more than others. You see, like, even Santa slips on, Twitter or X or whatever, formerly known as Twitter. I think, if you're more worried about that stuff, right? When Musk owns Twitter, Musk owns X. I mean, either one, like, wait a minute. But anyway, here's how we stop the war against what they're trying to do with information in these children's minds once and for all. Here's what we think of Wikipedia, all right? Wikipedia is not so great. Wikipedia is good for some things, but really it's not so great. Let me give you an example of how you can cheat verbatim on Wikipedia, right? First of all, it was made on the internet, so there is no other thing. You can change the text and update articles, right? And sure, maybe that's a good thing if it's done in good faith, but sometimes it isn't. For instance, I happen to know personally that some moron, right, might have planted the seeds or even done it himself to suggest that certain things, like in the song, like "My Heart Will Go On," right? I think actually one factoid you don't know on Wikipedia is that originally Celine Dion was going to call the song "My Shart Will Go On." And, you can read it right on Wikipedia. And then Max Weinberg from the Bruce Springsteen band rushed to the rescue and talked her down. And they wound up calling that "My Heart Will Go On." And then it went on to great acclaim. And you could read it for a time right on Wikipedia. I don't know who typed it, right? I don't know who wrote that, right? I don't know why they would do such a thing. Who would be so evil? That's just factually incorrect. But then it kind of makes sense, because actually if you go and you look up Hungry Heart, right? You find out that originally Bruce Springsteen was going to call it Hungry Shart. But after much turmoil, and there are reasons for it. I mean, it explained the reasons for it, right? He wanted to call it Hungry Shot because, whatever the reasons, right? But then Max Weinberg rushed in And he talked him out of it. And then, like, they wound up calling it, Hungry Heart and writing the song about that instead of that, right? And the rest is history. That's an interesting fact. I mean, it's just overtly not true, but, it was, at its time, you could look up. You could even look up, like on Wikipedia. It's right there. It must be official. I mean, she did that, right? Or whatever it is, like Bruce was going to name it that, right? That was just interesting because actually, if you go to Thunder Road, right, whatever the hell that song is, you find out that one interesting tidbit about that song is that originally he was going to, this lyric or whatever, the lyric, whatever, something was originally going to be like exhumed corpses on a like soiled grave or something. But, skeleton Chevrolets was originally supposed to be like something else or whatever. And they explore, something horrible. Right? But then Max Weinberg, he rushed in. And he actually talked down like Bruce and said, I think that one line needs to be toned down because that's a little like extreme. And you could look it up on Wikipedia for a much longer period of time because like they when they tried to fact check it or whatever, it sounded reasonable. In fact, some blogger who knew all about Bruce Springsteen is the coolest guy in the world, right? I don't know the guy, but I still know who wrote that, right? Actually used that Wikipedia factoid on a blog for a serious article that had nothing really to do with Thunder Road, except like at some point they cited Wikipedia as the source. When they explained, actually Max Weinberg, in fact, you guys don't know this, but Max Weinberg, talked down like, the original lyric was going to be... And what's funny is that it just made it, from, I don't know, planting a seed of, you gotta be kidding me, right? To look at this, like, wokester. They're so hip and trendy and honest, right? Nothing going on. And then they're going to pick, because they didn't take it down, because, in order to take something down, you got to, they just slip right by them because there's so much information being bombarded to Wikipedia. And not all of it is vetted properly. And then it seems to be geared towards some, Wicks are sneaky, right? But not that sneaky Pete, right? So, you know what you do? You know what you want to do? Moving forward. We need competition for Wikipedia immediately and without hesitation. And there's only one team to do it. And they can't do it with their new shit by definition. See, they war against verbatim and whatever came before them. That's what they do. That's just, they're going to do it. I don't know. They got to do it. Heathcliff and the team, they got to make up history and they just don't like verbatim. But that's too bad when it comes to like teaching children. So, if you happen to be a company that happens to have the name Encyclopedia Britannica in it, here's what you got to do immediately. A, find the real books. There must be a copy somewhere. The ones from the 80s. Maybe at latest like sometime in the early 90s. But, you could, whichever one you understand to be like before 1994 or whatever, or 1992 or something, right? Get those books. Get those exact ones. Do the one from like 85, actually, if you're smart. And what you do, right, is you digitize it by taking a fucking picture of every fucking page of every fucking book in the fucking, the whole canon, right? A to Z. And you scan it. And you also, then you let the AI programs, or call it an app, right, or whatever it is that's smart enough to, scan the words that, are from the picture, and use that to create your digital thing that has to match up to the verbatim PDF that you took. It's not a PDF, stupid. It's a camera picture. And then that has to check out with the actual books, if you even have one or two of them floating around for, the one or two students who know how to read a book and aren't scared of books, let alone, some Bible about it. And then you see, that's a lot of information, but it's completely trustworthy with respect to anything that came after it during this that might contradict it. Anything that might contradict it on another encyclopedia, including Wikipedia, is just throw it out. Just throw it out. It will force Wikipedia to compare notes with the competition. And it's definitive because none of us had a hand in the war against it. They want to change all the facts. If you go to the Encyclopedia Britannica, we have an updated version from 2010 on that article, says Encyclopedia Britannica. Well, we don't care because that's not what we're digitizing and putting up as a competition for, you just burn if you care more about that. When they're available, and maybe they do, maybe they don't. But that's not the point. Not once. We don't do that. We honor, this is from 1985, right? And this is the encyclopedia. And all going back or forward since, this is the definitive verbatim Encyclopedia Britannica library from 1985. And then they'll do their duty in due time after they do that to get the one from whatever, 2010 done right, or say is it 2000 or whatever. And once they get the 2001 done, then they go back and they can do maybe one that has more recent events even mentioned in it. Because you have Wikipedia for that. I mean, that was around, they cover that. That one's more current events and, any time. I mean, it forces them to yield to Encyclopedia Britannica. And if they insist, no, ours is right, and it contradicts something important, because assuredly, even the encyclopedia in 1985 didn't have everything right, and we're not suggesting that. But if you're suggesting Wikipedia knows better, or both of them are evil, and only what the woke teacher says with the, rainbow and black flags, I don't understand why we can't share things. I love rainbow flag, but then rainbow flag was for gay people and bisexual people and trans people and all kinds of people. And that was a flag everybody tried to get rights for. And then all of a sudden, that flag's bad now because there's a new normal, flag for even more inclusivity when you do whatever the same thing that the Christians try to do and they shun everyone else except people who believe things that are highly, but you want us to do that with you. And if we don't, we can't work and we should be put in jail. And I don't know why, there's nothing going on here on verbatim. I mean, the whole point, it's just, why bother with that stuff? But anyway, I'm not trying to get in the middle of nothing except what's that got to do with the Constitution and what they're doing to us? And are you sure you're not sneaking around with an app and not thinking for yourself because you get marching orders? Oh, just take this position on this. Hey, the AI says if you do this, we're invincible. No? I think Smeagol found some form of a club or an app or a dark web or a whatever. I don't know. It's not just on the internet, but as it is in real life, so it is on the internet, right? And you got to war against verbatim. You just got to lie. And I think there's some kind of pathological disorder thing that has to shake out and cannot if the news doesn't function even a little. So that's all I contend. So anyway, if you happen to be a company named Encyclopedia Britannica, right, and you wanted to be blessed wildly, right, with ads or just doing your duty and having even a remote purpose at this point in time, right, what you would do is you would abandon ship with whatever they're doing at Encyclopedia Britannica currently. You would abandon ship and you would form a new company if they try to fight you called Encyclopedia Britannica 1985. Or if they won't give you the rights to that because it's their company, right, then they're not worthy to defend the honor of this is what it said verbatim in the Encyclopedia Britannica in 1985. We trust this information on all these way more. Then, of course, you're going to do one because some of the information won't quite be correct. But that's not the point. That's why then you do the 2001 or whatever, right? And don't worry, you will have people who submit. That's the point. They'll do that to you and yours, and you can vet it before you just let them type. I think Max Weinberg actually, like Wikipedia does, and then the kids put their faith in I don't know. Whatever it is, they're sure they're atheists or something. Or maybe they got to be I don't know, Harry Potter cool or something. When Harry Potter's not cool, all right? Some of us are dead serious. You people can wick around in Harry Potter fan. Get your head out of the clouds. And get off my cloud. That's not as big as this moment here or something. You people don't even know what your own pop culture stuff. Like, you used to have a heart, but now, like, everybody's, like, weird about it or something. But no more, like, no mas, please. Must we have more? No, we really shouldn't. No, you wouldn't want to do that. Anyway, very early Merry Christmas to you, and even a happy Happy Halloween to you. Hey, trick or treat. Do you know what trick or treat means? Do you know the real meaning? Because, some people think it's just demons and Satan's in charge, and they go nuts and do like weird stuff, especially on, like, say, October 30th, right? But then on Halloween, like, nice people, whatever, who conquered, like, such a thing, just to, share the joy of course, like, no matter what, somehow they learn their lesson, like, you've been tricked, and hey, here's a treat, it's Jesus and Christmas stuff. But also, like, if they still want to be miserable about it because they just, I don't know, like Gollum has them again, right? What you could do is, just show up with your kids. Hey, happy Halloween. Hey, and then you just make sure to check the candy, All right, but I mean, as long as we live in a decent society, you really wouldn't. But see that right at the moment, and something with verbatim, nobody's being sneaky here. Oh, yes, we could. I suppose I took the Lembas bread again, right? Right, friend? Right, Reek? Well, you should be a Eureka, not a Reek. But anyway, that is my idea. I have stated it for myself verbatim, and I've pontificated for long enough for, I don't know, like I said, I think it might be a wise idea. Start with the 1985 one first. Do that diligently, get it verbatim, put it up, and then do the 2001. And even maybe if you could walk and chew gum or find extra employees somehow, then you could work towards doing both simultaneously. Because as long as the 1985 one comes out first, then it doesn't really matter how quickly or as long as it's still verbatim. And boy, it's a daunting task. But the whole process of scanning a page, getting it right, proofing it back to itself with the original camera shot as opposed to a PDF that someone could have photoshopped. And then, I don't know, and then you have an AI and it just makes sure, and then no one can change it. The only way to make changes on the updated one that comes last after the 2001 is with the permission of Encyclopedia Britannica and, at least one intellectual or scholar or even honest person who doesn't care what the facts are as long as, you diligently have them available in public at all times. And then as far as, those pesky Bibles or whatever, hey, it's going to be the best-selling, if you're smart, it's the best-selling book for every single century and running, especially 21st, and with good reason. They even all of a sudden, Mickey decided he's putting the New King James Version back in every, and taking out, other things, and making sure the ones that are in there don't take Bible verses out. Especially anything that says, these ones don't go out without, proper fasting. I mean, you don't want to touch it. You want to put, I would strongly recommend, I remember a time when the New King James, or was it King James, either one, was available at the Polynesian when you open. But now, not only is it just ESV, but then apparently no, because at some hotels there's still an NIV, but that verse can't be in it. And that verse can't be in it. And it's, there's something going on right now. We'll get to the bottom of that. We're not worried. We have enough copies of Bible. We'll understand to protect it and scan it and do the stuff. And that's someone else. And the Thomas Nelson people should probably be smart ones. But at any rate, I shall retire for now from just pontificating. And that's my idea in full. All right? They have a war on verbatim. And if you don't understand, they're just, it's going to doom them if they can't let that go for the sake of, is any of this more important than world peace? Is any of this more important than just making sure World War III, quote unquote, and the extent of it was a couple idiots paragliding in and trying it in the Holy Land, but then we snuffed it out with love and we didn't have to have every single country, trying to conquer World War III with war. Can we not let peace win one? Jesus was the Prince of Peace. Jesus was an only son for you. Even if you disagree with that, the Bible verbatim has a right to, you know what the Gutenberg Bible meant to people? Yeah, and then his father God, and boy, is he angry. All right, see ya.